And this sort of goes to like a much larger thematic question, which is there's this famous problem that people like to ask a lot, definitely in the, we'll call it like just the larger communities, where there's like questions like, well, you guys probably have heard that Chazal really, and all these Midrashim and Gemaras and all these places, they really like to bash Eisav. Eisav gets a very bad reputation from Chazal. If you actually read the stories, so it doesn't seem there's really so much going on here that's really so bad. I just want to draw your attention to a couple of funny things just as an aside here. If you actually look towards the end of this whole section, the whole parsha, when it starts telling you about like a lot of different family interactions in Esav's family. So just for example, you'll notice that there's a lot of repeating names. If you look in, this is now in Perek Lamed Vav. So when it starts telling you the toldos of Eisav, he's Edom. And then it starts telling you he has these different wives. They have very different names now than they had when he first married them, incidentally. And for example, just one wild example here, you have, I'll give two examples actually. One is you have Aholibama, Yalda es Yeush, Ves Yalam, Ves Korach. That's Pasuk Hey. Aholibama has these kids, Yeush, Yalam, Korach. And these are Bnei Eisav, Asher Yodulu Beres Canaan. So Aholibama has these three kids, one of whom is named Korach. If you look a little later on, so it tells you the kids of Eliphaz. So Eliphaz has a bunch of kids. And all his kids they become what's called alufim. Alufim means to be like a leader, tribe leader, whatever, group leader. And one of the kids Eliphaz has, his name is Korach. Never says that he has a kid named Korach, though. It just says that it says when it lists off the alufim that are sons of Eliphaz, so Korach, who was earlier was a son of Aholibama, who's Esav's wife, now is listed as a son of Eliphaz, and there is no Korach listed as a son of Aholibama over there. So the question is, why is that? So the Medrash says, well, that's very obviously why. The reason is because Eliphaz was Ba'al Aholibama. He slept with his own mother. His own mother? No, sorry. He slept with his dad's other wife, and then got her pregnant with Korach. So Korach is actually a child of Aholibama and Eliphaz. And a second example of that is if you look at who was Eliphaz's. Anyone know who offhand Eliphaz's Pilagesh was? What her name was? Listed here. You heard of that?
Timnah.
Her name is Timnah. Yeah. So you know who Timnah's dad is. So it tells you it tells you some things about Timnah. So if you look towards, where is that?
He was the guy that did something to Chamarim.
That guy's dad, I think it is. Let's see. Sorry. Bnei Lotan Chori vehemam v'achos Lotan Timnah. So Lotan is Timnah's brother, it says. And who is Lotan? Lotan is the son of Seir HaChori. So Timnah is the sister of Lotan. Lotan is the son of Seir HaChori. So the question is, well then who's Timnah's dad? So here the text doesn't really tell you who her dad is, it just says she's the sister of Lotan. But in Divrei Hayamim, Rashi quotes this. In Divrei Hayamim, Timnah is listed as Eliphaz's daughter, because Eliphaz slept with Seir's wife and got her pregnant with Timnah, and then Timnah ends up being Eliphaz's Pilagesh. Also here, there's a number of other ones. If you just, and only, by the way, like I first noticed this just by reading these things. I'm reading I never even noticed it. I didn't see it in Rashi. I'm reading the stories here, and a bunch of years ago I was like, who are all these names? Like if you actually track out the names, like they just switch around. Like different ones have different parents, different times. Like there's a few. That's not all of them. There's more, and these families start to intermingle. Esav's family and Seir's family, and it's like that's just one example of just in the text where Chazal get these things about what Eisav did and what Esav's family was like and what these kinds of people are. Because forget the like just the concept of there being boundaries and how these things are supposed to be structured was completely not a theme for these different families that are now intermarrying.